Other than day 12, do your worst. Hey, so I've just left Bellingham behind after a march up the road to get out of Bellingham. I'm now on this farm track, heading up onto the moor, I think. Shoreland's just down there. Good morning. It is Wednesday the 31st of July. It's day 12. I had a pizza for my tea last night. I had a fruit salad, I had a smoothie, I drank loads of water. So here's hoping today today's rosier than yesterday. Done everything I can to make sure that's the case. So far so good. So the plan is, well, plan B, shall we say, is to get to Bennine. There's a campsite there. But from Bennine it's quite a slog on the last day over to the end. So it'll be like, whoa, like to the bitter end, doing a really long day at the end. If I have to do that, that's what I'll do. But if I'm on form today, remember I said this yesterday and it didn't work out, but if I am on form today, we'll go past Bennine and we'll climb up onto the start of the border ridge and we'll stay at the mountain refuge hut. There's 2 mountain refuge huts on the border ridge. One obviously closer to this end, and that's the one I'm aiming for. So we'll see how it goes. Little bit of a chill when I woke up this morning because it's been a clear sky, but apparently hottest day yet. Apparently. It's going to be a hot one. I'll say hello to these cows and then I'll say goodbye to you. Hello. Goodbye. Hopefully no power naps will be required today. It's 20 to 9. I left about half an hour ago. So could say time's on my side today if I just keep going and have a good day. If I do make it to the shelter, that's quite a long way, so if I do that, it'll probably be another late one. Good views. I haven't come up this hill out of Bellingham, and you can see over there, right in the distance, Crossfell, Little Dunfell, Great Dunfell, clear as crystal. Long way away now. I've never been in this area before, but so far this has been a really nice stretch. That's looking back. Bellingham's over that hill. Nice stretch. Just having a rest in style. Did you get it? And there goes Laurie. He just passed us there while I was having a rest on the stile. As you can see, he's gone for minimal clothing today. Well, it's a nice day, isn't it? And if you can handle it, I'd die a heat stroke, sunstroke if I did that. But he says generally it's alright, but sometimes some people get offended. Like, I think he said the farmer got offended by him walking past with his top off. So I said, well, he's obviously way ahead of me now. He's got a little pack on. I think he's staying at hostels and things. But I says, I'll help you out. If you get into a fight, I'll help you out. But I'll probably be an hour behind you. So just as he was heading off, I just got off the stile after him. And I got off the stile and made those old man noises like, he turned around and he went, oh, that doesn't sound good. And of course thinking like, you do that, obviously you get a bit achy and like, all the way really. And it's like a bit of a, but particularly at this point obviously, and it's like a diesel cold start, you know, like when you've got a diesel car and it's cold and you start up and it's like like humans do that as well. But usually once you get going, it's alright. So I've got my phone in my right hand and my map in my left hand, and you may notice that I don't have 3 hands and my water bottle is in neither. You've got to keep your wits about you. Slightest little distraction and you like lose something or do something silly. I'm having to retrace my steps back to the stile because I left my water bottle there. Obviously got distracted by a lorry. Haven't got time for this run. The heather. It's nice when you get a path like this, isn't it? Like, it's not reedy and boggy, it's just a nice path through the heather. The man's a machine. Yeah. You get the drift now. We'll keep bumping into each other. It's funny, like a little cohort develops. You're all going at the same pace and you're just doing the same days, but everyone's overtaking each other at different times, and well, mainly overtaking me at different times. So it was nice. I did a little bit of a stretch there with Drew. Had a good chat. He lived in New Zealand for a bit and Australia, so I don't think he's that impressed with the Pennine Way. Yeah, he's used to Lord of the Rings. But I tell you what, everything, touch wood, seems to be clicking along nicely today. It's been a little bit of climbing on this section so far, but it's just been lush. It's just been lush. Just walking across these moors. That is now the view. I don't know if you can make it out on the camera, but that's the Cheviots there. It's the closest I've looked yet. So we'll come over this last bit of moor and eventually we'll hit a forest. And it's a forest track a lot of the way to Burness, I think. So apparently it gets easier. So having today 10 miles apparently from here. Ow. 10 miles to Burness. He did ask if I wanted to keep walking with him, but it was nice to do a stretch with him, but I think that could be potential suicide, trying to keep at his pace. But one thing that was reassuring is that he got, you know, when I got lost yesterday, when I went down that track, he did exactly the same thing. So it's obviously not just me. There must be points on the Pennine Way where lots of people make the same mistakes. So people ask us, why are you doing this for the Morning Star? They don't. But if they did, I suppose the answer would be, why not? Oh, where's Drew? There he is. He's a crackpot, this man. He's gone on yet another detour. Just as if the Pennine Way isn't enough. He's gone to the top of that hill over there. Today's a scorcher, lad. Look at the sweat dripping off my brow. This bit's brutal, but it's alright because spirits are high today. Whoa. Where's the top? Of course that wasn't the top. There's the top up there. Might bring you back at the... Or is that the top? Do you know what I've learned doing this in sunny weather? So I've been trying to tilt my cap towards the sun. Like if it's slightly to the right, I tilt it that way. If it's slightly to the left, I tilt the other. Obviously, by the way, whenever I've got my camera flipped like this, left and right, I think are opposites. So like Crossfell and the Cheviots, and I probably look back to front, but right. So the whole way up, like for at least 10 days, in fact I think until today, if you look that way, then you think the sun's on your right. But guess what? If you look that way, then you think it's on your left. It's an optical illusion. So I suppose what I'm telling you is I'm stupid, but I've learned something there. Probably best to just keep it in the middle, or better still turn around See, it is actually on the right a bit, so I'm going to tilt it to the right. But we think because we're humans, we're at an advantage with our eyes facing forward, 2 eyes. Unlike, you know, like some animals who have their eyes on the sides of their heads, like whales, sperm whales have their eyes on the side of their heads. Different strokes for different folks. What else has their eyes on the sides of their heads? Because I was stumbling on my words there. Birds, most birds do, don't they? The horses? The horses? Not sure about sheep, but I know they have square pupils, like rectangular pupils. Now, would you say that's a sign of intelligence? What's probably not a sign of intelligence is tilting your cap to the right when the sun's on the left and tilting your cap to the left when the sun's on the right, just because you've turned around and looked that way. So, anyway, if there's anything to be got out of this, there's a bit of advice for you if you ever do any long distance walking and the sun's behind you. Turn around and look where it is before angling your headwear to protect your neck and your ears. Look at them Cheviot. I've got a date with you tomorrow, my friend. Don't you worry about that. I think we can safely say we've turned it around since yesterday. Yesterday, I don't like talking about it. That was then. Today's today. I can see the Border Ridge over there. You can practically touch it from here. I'm on this lovely path now. Looks like I'm headed finally into this forest. And I think once you hit the forest, it's a lot of forestry track to Burness. It is 20 to 2. I'm obviously making pretty good time. I'm going to get to Burness at an earthly hour. I don't see any reason why I won't push on from there. If I do that, the plan will be, because there's water at Burness, that's where I'll have me tea. So I'll stop there, either get something at the inn or just make me one tea, and then I'll pack my stuff back up and I'll head up onto the ridge. By the way, I'm not saying that it would be easier to tell where the sun is in the sky if you had eyes on the side of your head. Maybe if you had eyes in the back of your head. But all I'm saying is that the sun's had me life for 12 days. Nor am I assuming that it's harder if you've got eyes on the side of your head. I just don't know. If you want to find the answer to that, you won't find that here. Today, forest tracks are our friend. This forest track takes us all the way to Burness. I think it's about 6 miles. Thank you. Right.
Down another path, go down the road.
Right.
Probably down the road. Houses back there, I think.
Whew, where do I start? So the time is now 5 to 7. Last time I did a video was a good few hours ago, because I caught up with Drew and I walked with him the last 3 or 4 miles down the forest track to Burness, and keeping up with him. I kept up with him, but it was brutal, and the sun's been beaten down all day, so kind of crawled into Burness with my tail between my legs. I was absolutely done in, dehydrated, knackered really. But the place I've been to, so I've took a couple of pictures of it. It's like a sort of like a hostel, someone's house basically, but they've turned it into a refuge, like a, I don't know, like a B&B hostel type thing for Pennine Way. Pennine Ways, it's called Forest View. Amazing little place, and for me it was just somewhere to recover. They were very kind to let me in. I wasn't staying there, but they still let me in. I went out the back and I made 2 camping meals on the camping stove. Not before I drank about 3 pints of water though, and sat and just gradually recovered. So I'm a new man now, and I've now set off as planned to get myself up onto this ridge, but it's going to be a late one, there's no doubt about that, because it's 7 to 8 miles to get to the refuge hut, and there's climbing as well. Once I get off this road, which is going to be shortly, then it's straight up onto the ridge. But it's not as late as it was when I went to Crossfell. I'm just going to take it slow. I'll get there when I get there. So, not far now, man. Not far now. Speak to you later. Why did you have 2 camping meals, I hear you ask? Well, apart from the fact I was starving, there's no water really from here. So what I don't want to be doing is using what water I've got for camping meals. So I've eaten them. I don't need to have any tea because I've had my tea now. I had 2. And then in the morning I've got some Scotch eggs for breakfast, so I don't need to make porridge or anything. So all the water I've got is for drinking, and I've obviously topped up my bottles at Forest View as well. So I've got full water bottles now. They've got to last us till I get to Kirkyathan basically. And I drank as much water as I could. Right, to the hut. Happy place. So why am I doing this for the Morning Star? I never thought I'd find myself on a Wednesday night walking into the Border Ridge talking to Facebook about the Morning Star, but here goes. So if I was to put down on a table all of the daily national newspapers, every one of them, including the Morning Star, and say one of those is owned by its readers and it just about manages to operate and keep things ticking over, and the rest of them are all owned by billionaires or big corporations, which one would you think has your interests at heart? Now don't get us wrong, I know there's plenty of people already know that, they know who owns what and couldn't care less, just find it boring, they just want to have a life, you know what I mean? They might buy the Sun because they like reading the sports pages. I've heard the sports pages are good in the Sun. Don't know if they are or not, never read them, but you get the point though. I don't expect to change your mind. If that's where you're at, you're not bothered, then you're not bothered. But if you do care whose interests are being served, and you want to read and support something that puts working class interests first, that puts things from a working class perspective, and actually has our interests at heart, then it's simple. Read the Morning Star, buy the Morning Star. It's a daily national newspaper. You can get it in any local newsagent. If it's not in your local newsagents, it's because no one where you live is buying it. So ask them to get it in. They're probably not buying it because they've probably never heard of it, because it doesn't have the money to promote itself in the same way as like the other big papers have. So you can ask, just walk into your local news, ask them to get it in, they'll have to. So if you've never heard of it, go and find it, go and seek it out. There's a like I say, ask your local newsagent or go online. There's a website You can subscribe online as well. If you already support it and like, you know, that you think it's a good thing, you don't want to lose it, you think it'd be a shame if one day the Morning Star wasn't around anymore, but you're not buying it that regularly, or you're not buying it every day, but you can, you know what to do. Make sure you're giving it that support, because one of the reasons I'm doing this, apart from the fact I was going to do it anyway, but if this has managed to raise some funds for the fighting fund, then, and maybe hopefully raise a little bit of awareness about the Morning Star, then win. That's a win. But yeah, the reason people do stuff like this for the Morning Star is because it does need that little bit of extra support from its supporters from time to time. It needs more readers really, but in the meantime we have to, I don't know, go that little bit extra to support it. So that's why I'm doing this. So last time I checked, the target was £1,000, and I checked this morning, and there was 960 something pound raised. So that's that's amazing. What can I say to everybody who's donated? Well, thank you, obviously, but the Morning Star will be more thankful than I am. But yes, if you haven't donated and you can, let's get that up to 1,000. There's less than £40 to go, and then it's still open, I think, for another fortnight anyway, if people want to keep chipping into it. Okay, so I think that's my spiel on the Morning Star. It would have been a little bit of a miss, I think, if I didn't mention something, because I have basically put out all over social media that I'm doing this to raise money for the Morning Star Fighting Fund. So I've seen there's a couple of people asked like what it is. So they are. Have I not suffered enough? So this here, although you wouldn't know it if you didn't have a map, is an old Roman camp at the top of Corketdale. And if you zoom in over there, I don't even need to zoom in, you can see the road. So that road comes to a dead end just down there, and you access that from Alwynton. And I only discovered that the other week. But we're in Upper Corketdale, and if you take that road and drive up Upper Corketdale, it's a little narrow road. There's lots of places to park. Don't have to pay. There's hardly anyone goes there. I'd bet that that is possibly the most remote place in the northeast. Myself, you beauty. Oh yes, 25 to 11. Last half an hour was a bit of a slog, but that was a nice warm up really. Oh yes. Mountain Refuge hut, Lamb Hill, Cheviot Ridge. Right, I've got changed. I just need to upload this video, get that done, and then I am going to sleep. Big day tomorrow, final push.